Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Welcome, friends. So happy to have you here for this episode. I'm titling this, "The End of Busy Work Isn't the End of Work." With the age of AI, the one thing that I'm excited about, but not everybody's excited about, that AI can help to end the busy work. The busy work can be done by these agents, those administrative repeated tasks. I personally feel that I'd rather be doing more thinking work, more creative work, more research, more things that light me up and that add more value to what I'm delivering. Some people, they believe that busy work makes them feel important, and we need to get past that because really, as a focusologist, the objective is to focus on what matters most. And a lot of times it's this busy work that gets in the way. So if we can find smart tools and agents to be able to do some of that busy work for us, that frees us up for more meaningful work. So that is a positive thing. We need to be seeing AI as a catalyst for more creative and deeper thinking. Plus, imagine what you could do with that extra time. With that extra time, you could spend more time with your family. You could spend more time reflecting on what's important to you, taking care of yourself and your health. We could do a lot of things with those time. Now, of course, it depends on what you actually do with it. Most people, they fill it up with other busy work or they spend more time on the internet. So it's really important that we're intentional about how we're going to claim this time back that we might be getting from AI. And so I come back to the point that I mention a lot, and I say that things work until they don't. And so maybe the way that you've been working has been working for you up until now, but there are new opportunities. Things are changing. And if you don't get on the AI bandwagon about how to use AI to be more efficient and add more value, you're going to find yourself left behind. And it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an employee anywhere in the organization. The people that will remain relevant and add value in the organization comes down people who know how to effectively use AI so that those things can be managed while you work on other things. So I want you to think about that. Are you resisting or are you embracing? The way that we work is being questioned by AI, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Anytime, let me go off on a tangent for a second. Letting go of the way that we've always done things is difficult because we've created habits, we've created a familiarity, a comfort with the way that we've done things. So I know for myself, I picked up a couple of AI tools. I wanted to manage my email more efficiently. And when I first picked it up and started to implement it, I had to learn new keystrokes and things like that. And it felt very clumsy and frustrating to me. So my first reaction was, I need to cancel this. I don't want it. It takes too much work for me to get up to speed. But that's the whole point of embracing something new, is understanding that it's a new way of doing things. And it may be uncomfortable at first. It may be counterintuitive to how you're currently thinking, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have additional value for you if you stick with it. And so I had to really fight through that and recognize the resistance and say, okay, this resistance is because I'm afraid that I don't know what I'm doing and then I'm going to waste my time on this tool and then it not work for me. But also it's a lack of clarity as to how this is truly going to benefit me in the end. And so we just have to trust the practice. And I say trust the practice, the reset practice, to step back, to get perspective and to realign, and keep repeating that over and over again. So as I learn this new tool, I have to step back and recognize, where's it helping me? What do I need to learn? Get some perspective on the value that it could deliver me long term so that I can stay focused on learning those new practices and principles in the tools, the new functionality, item by item, right? I don't have to conquer it all at once. Just take on small pieces, master that, and then move to the next thing. And take the time to watch the videos and to do the things that are going to support me to get the most out of the tool. Because yes, I'm one of those people who buys a new tool and I discard the instructions and I just start playing with it. But the truth is, those videos are there for a reason. They really support us to get the most out of those tools. So I encourage you to say to yourself, be patient, stay grounded, and go through the videos. Take the time, slow down to learn the tool in a way that helps you really implement it in the right way. Because if you're not implementing it in the right way, you're not getting the full value from the tool. So you've in essence wasted some of your time in implementing this new tool because you're not using it to its fullest. And sometimes it's too late when you get further down the line to better organize yourself because you've accumulated things that are now in a disarray or disorganized. It's much more difficult when it's already existing to fix it versus to do it from the beginning. And I'm saying that from like a documentation management perspective, for instance. It can be a huge undertaking if you don't do it on a regular basis and really get a clear system up front. But here, I'm digressing for a second. So what I want you to do is to think about how you can reset your thinking around AI and AI tools and how they can support you. Let's reset our thinking about AI because we want to get rid of that busy work. The end of busy work isn't the end of work. It's the end of waste. It's the end of wasting your time on things that could be done elsewhere by someone else, by something else, so that you can focus on what matters most. That's freeing. And we've seen and heard this before, right? This fear really isn't new. Think about it like this. Scribes in the olden days, they resisted the printing press because they were terrified that their life's work would become obsolete. I recently heard something about the music industry. They were terrified when radio came out because that people wouldn't pay for going to live concerts anymore. And I can tell you that people pay more today for a concert than I can even imagine. Plus, you can still get the music not only on the radio, but now on demand on Spotify, exactly the songs that you want, right? Or any of those types of channels. So change makes it more accessible at times and may just make the market even bigger. So whatever we think is not necessarily reality. It's based on a whole lot of assumptions that probably aren't true. Think of this, bank tellers, they panicked over ATMs. They were convinced that these machines would replace the human service that they provide. But it just gives people access to quick withdrawals. Now bank tellers are there for other types of withdrawals, or maybe currency exchange, or other things that you want to do that are more complex, that require a human involved. So there's a win-win there for both the bank teller, but also the people who are looking to get 24-hour access to their money. The thing is that what followed from all of these major changes and many more that you've experienced in your lifetime, it created more productivity, more possibility, and more creativity. And these tools, they didn't replace people, they freed them to solve more meaningful problems and create even greater value. Open up new opportunities, new markets, new ways of looking at things. And that's growth. We have to remember, and I say this in my keynotes, productivity is the outcome, not the point. Productivity is not the point. It's a byproduct. It's the outcome of working smarter. And working in collaboration with AI is smarter. There's no doubt about it. I'm loving it. So I think for you, it's a question of just remembering that the outcome is what's most important. What are you working towards? And if you can get there faster and create an even better outcome than was originally thought because you have more time to really think through creatively, that is where the true value comes in. Because that's the real point, is delivering more value in less time, more impact, less effort. I have 4 questions that I ask in my book, The Reset Mindset, and that I share in some of my keynotes. And that's, what's your biggest distractor? What wastes the most time? What takes the most time? And what creates the most stress? And look for how AI could help to reduce or eliminate any of those areas. Can it help you to reduce distractors, the things that are distracting you from what matters most? What's wasting your time? Are you able to use AI in a way to reduce the time waste, improve the process? And what takes the most time? Well, clearly that would be great if you could reduce the amount of time that something takes you so that you can get there faster. And of course, if it's creating stress for you, how do you remove that? And so that's what I do on a 2 to 3 week basis, is I review those questions and I set an action plan. And I'm starting to do it now with a focus on AI. How can AI help me to solve those 4 problem areas so that I can focus on what matters most? So ask yourself that as well. Do it as a rhythm. I call it a reset rhythm, identifying newly what's stressing, what's wasting time, so that you can reset around new solutions, because things work until they don't. Anyway, I think the key thing of what AI, it's opening the door for human work. Because when the noise of the busyness fades, what remains is the human work, the judgment calls that we make based on the circumstance, based on the feedback that we're receiving around us by visual cues or the results that we're getting and such things. That's through judgment, emotion, being able to detect when we're triggered, when someone else is triggered, and being able to manage that emotion and using that emotion for a positive impact. Things like storytelling and really connecting with people at a story level, trust building. That's one of the key things in our organization because trust is lacking. Connection, making deeper and more meaningful connections with people, with the work and the purpose, and with our family and with ourselves. Things like ethics and imagination, all of those are human work. We do have a gap in this connection because we're so busy and so distracted that we live in a state of distraction, and it's pervasive in our culture. And what it's done is it's destroyed our ability to connect to a higher objective, to connect to each other, and even to connect to ourselves. That's why we're seeing things like disengagement and loneliness and stress as really global challenges. We have to be willing to reset our relationship with AI and this technology so that we see it as a collaborator. That's the reset mindset, is constantly looking at how we can add more value, how we can be open and willing to reinvent, and dynamically reassessing to adapt and adjust quickly along the way as we intake that feedback, and that we can immediately process it and put it into practice. So just remember, we're not being replaced. We're being repositioned. So here's the reset moment I want to leave you with. AI isn't here to eliminate your purpose. It's here to refocus it. So let's not try to compete with the machines, the technology, or AI. Let's double down on being human and the value that we get from collaborating with AI with that aspect of humanness that we bring. So let's get curious, let's be creative, and let's be open to redefine your role as not the doer of tasks, but as the driver of value. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.